Comes in a box this big. Next thing you know, poof, it's open. It's full-size couch. We can put a couple of kids on it, a dog. I've seen the Facebook ads. I know you can get a whole family of 12 on it. Everybody's sitting around it, and it comes in a tiny little box. I'm just about there. I'm telling you, I got a couch right now that's driving me nuts. It's pretty nice, kind of expensive, just doesn't fit me right, probably because I'm built wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying it needs to go. So I'm thinking about trying one. I had pretty good luck on the mattresses. I tried those. I don't know if you've ever tried one. You know, they sell them online, and they come in a box, and you open them up. They're still heavy. Don't kid yourself. One of them rolled up mattresses is still 80 pounds. You get it in, and then poof, it blows up. Takes a day or two, smells really bad. Next thing you know, you got you a new mattress to sleep on. Well, I don't know why I'm shocked, but my girl does not like the fact that I sleep on a water pillow. I don't know if you've ever heard of these. I hadn't until a few years back. And I was telling my friend that my neck always hurts because I'm a side sleeper, which is notorious for causing neck problems. So I tried one of these water pillows, and it was fabulous. Stopped the neck problems. I was totally in. Hashtag, I'm not trying to sell you anything, by the way. That's not what's happening here. I'm just telling you about my experience where my girl was like, yeah, no, the things that are living in that water pillow, that stuff will kill you. Whatever's in there, it's death. 40 shades of death. And I said, okay, but when I wake up, my face is dry, so that'd be like being in a boat and wondering what the fish are doing and if they're keeping their place clean. Well, she's decided that my pillow's the devil, which I'm not really cool with monkeying with because usually this results in a lot of neck aches for me. But she got me one of those compressed ones, one of those real tightly wound deals. Again, not an ad, but this is the container it came in. That's the brand if you're into pillows. I don't know. It was neat. So it showed up, and it's one of these pillows that you kind of have to have a college degree to work. So let me show you this pillow. Show you this pillow right here. So see, it's one of these kind. If you haven't seen them yet, they have this weird sort of thing on the end, and if you're a side sleeper, the design is you can put your arm around here, and it slopes. So for side sleepers, it's designed to go over and keep that neck, give it support so you don't get a backache. Again, I'm not trying to sell this, but let me tell you what happened. We got it, and again, my neck don't usually play these kind of pillows, but this has worked out fantastic. So not an ad for the pillow, just saying in my particular case, it's been fine. Well, the second day we had it, my girl decided she was going to take a nap while I was, perusing the internet and doing stuff on my laptop. She fell asleep on the new pillow, and she was a bouncing and a kicking and a fluttering and whatnot, and I'm trying to work, and finally, she's flipping the pillow 36 ways, and finally she looks up at me, half asleep, and she said, I can't figure out this pillow. Straight to sleep she was. And I thought, you ordered this for me. You should not have to have a college degree in pillowy stuff, go to sleep. That being said, it's been a pretty good little pillow. Again, hashtag, I'm not trying to sell it. I used the pillow to soften the blow of what may be the most absurd story I've seen in decades. A jury has ruled in favor and ultimately said that Meta and Google are liable for social media addiction. Now that's going to set off a chain of events that's going to be epic in the social media world. This is massive because this one was $3 million. The other one last week was $375 million. And this is the beginning because now that this case has been settled in this fashion, now there's a line of people that are going to blame Meta, Google, and they'll throw Snapchat in too. They bailed out and paid early, which to me was insane because I realized you lost, but I really think there has to be a protest. And somewhere, somebody has to look at this and go, what? There has to be a sane judge somewhere that goes, what? I'm not saying social media is perfect. I would be an idiot to say that, right? Anyone that says that would be a fool. But I do think we're getting awful comfortable blaming the tool instead of asking who handed the tool over in the first place. Do you follow me? The people that are in this trial absolutely are what I'm describing. Because somewhere along the way, we decided, you know what would be a good co-parent? Yeah, our phones, the rectangle. And not even like supervised. No, you're not doing that. You're not like, hey, let me check and see what you're watching. No. We gave them unlimited access and then acted surprised when the internet acted like the internet. So rather than parent your children, this was the outcome. And now you're mad. It's like dropping your kid off in the middle of Times Square and suing New York for having too many weird people. I think we have just drifted into this place where we have decided that technology will parent our children. We want the legal system to do all the disciplining when the technology doesn't do it the way we wanted it done. Because in fact, we were too lazy to do it ourselves. Is that not the truth? Well, kids, you can't keep them from, no, you cannot. But you can sure teach them things. You can teach them things like, don't let social media ruin your life. It can't replace talking to me. Those kind of things. That's not what we're doing though, right? No. And I get it. Nobody wants to feel like they missed something. No parent that, for whatever bad thing happened, wants to say, well, if I'd have just stopped them sooner. Yeah, I get it. But don't act like we haven't seen it. Don't act like we aren't all watching it every day. I'm bored. Hand them the phone. At dinner, here's the phone. In the car, hold the phone or the iPad. They're not really iPad kids anymore. We're doing outsourced childhood. That's what's happening. It's all getting done on the iPhone. Listen, I'm not hating. I'm just telling you that I'm a little bit shocked that we're all shocked that these companies built products that we want to keep using, that they try to keep people using on purpose, because that's quite literally their job. That's all they do. That's what they get paid to do. Now, again, I'm not defending everything they do, because that would be ludicrous. There's shady stuff involved in that, sure. Just like the grocery store. You don't think they know what you're looking at when you walk in the grocery store on the aisle, what's put at the right height, and who's paying for all that? Of course they do. That's years and years of data. They know everything about what you do in the grocery store. They determine what direction you walk in. They lay things out. You don't really cut through the middle of a grocery store. Think about it. Not if you're going shopping. If you run in just looking for a Band-Aid, that's different. But if you're going shopping, they have this planned out for you. Just like when Toys R Us was here, they had a game wall on the right when you walked in, and that was the only way to get through the store on purpose, because that was their cash cow in those days. This is not accidental. This is science. And don't think social media is not driving the science now. I'm in the communications industry through my master's degree. I'm studying strategic communication, so I'm working towards that. But I've always been in radio, television, and some form of media. I do a lot of things on the internet. I see a lot of things, and I watch a lot of the algorithm stuff, and I see how they tell us to produce stuff in the backgrounds. I know we cannot turn to a courtroom as a substitute for parenting. We can't do that. Because right now, we're right on the edge where we slip one over and we're in a world where nobody's responsible. In fact, the only person that's responsible for anything is the one with the deepest pockets, right? That's not going to fix the problem. Do you think handing out the $378 million they're about to dump means anything at all? It doesn't. Now the lineup of lawsuits that are about to come, all that stuff means something. But in the end, you're just going to drive up the rates on the advertising and all of those things. We have an opportunity with social media. We can connect with people. It's good for a lot of things. We live at home and a lot of us are isolated. There's a lot of good things that come out of social media. Bad things are going to come too with any opportunity. That's the reality. Now, I could be wrong about all this, but it sort of feels to me like we're not mad about the apps anymore. We're mad about what happens when nobody's driving. And unfortunately, we stop driving. Social media addiction, are you kidding me? Like parents, we have to figure that out. It's designed, the algorithms are designed to keep us locked in. And I hear this a lot from older folks when they talk about what's happening with social media. They're kind of getting into the process, as we all are. We're all just kind of learning to use it, right? They'll look at something and then they'll talk about how a product's it's everywhere I go. Every time you look around, it's always there. So it's clearly a big thing. And I'm not sure they realize that a lot of that is done through manipulation. If you know how the process works and the algorithms and the way ads work and follow me ads and those kind of things, it's sort of a process. If you click on something, it's going to bake you in it. For instance, just look up a car that you might be looking for. You probably already know that, but go look up a car and then watch what happens on Facebook, Insta, wherever you go play. All of a sudden, there's car ads everywhere you go. Spend a little time like you're shopping and those ads show up. So a lot of times I think this feeds into more of that hysteria and people get kind of hooked in something. So I think there's so many good things that come out of it, and the bad, there's plenty of those, but I think we just got to figure out a way to manage the bad. I'm not sure that we're doing it the right way. We may at this point not be taking responsibility for our own messes, right? Maybe not. And you may disagree, and that's cool. Now, if you've been following any type of media at all, then you've seen this Alan Ritchson thing. You know the dude, he's sort of built like a vending machine. He's Reacher on, I believe that's Amazon Prime is where that show's housed. I could be wrong. But he got into it with his neighbor, in case you missed it, over riding motorcycles through the neighborhood. And I like how every one of these stories starts with, it was about safety. Was it though? It always starts about safety, right? Right up until somebody gets knocked the heck out in the middle of the street. Then it's no longer about safety. Now, I'm not saying go flying through neighborhoods on motorcycles. That's not what I'm saying. Like we're trying to qualify for Daytona. We have to slow down. We have to be respectful. I ride a motorcycle every day. I know this. I live in an old folks community. Our speed limit's 11. It's not like I'm roaring through the neighborhood. I get slowing down. Now, there's a line, though, and we don't often think about the line, because his neighbor decided that he was going to enforce the law himself, and he took it upon himself to run out in the middle of the street. He didn't call anybody. He didn't have a conversation in normal fashion, you know. I mean, they're in Tennessee. Just walk over and knock on the door and be like, bro. Nope, that's not what happened at all. My man decided that he should step out in the street in front of Alan. Do you see this man? You don't step out in the street in front of him on a motorcycle? Are you an idiot? And then my man had to lay his motorcycle down. And that's uncomfortable for everyone, because by the time I have to put my motorcycle down, oh, I'm hot. I'm on a level you don't understand, because that just costs me money. It's laying down in the street. Motorcycles are not free. Remember, this is a full-grown man. He has his kids on motorcycles behind him, too. Do you see the situation? Now we have a father trying to do something fun with his children. We have another man impeding that, thus creating a situation that's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, and it's not going to end well. It's just not. You can't start cussing at a man in front of his children. Not going to work. He started dropping F-bombs immediately as he ran out in the street. And that almost never ends like you think it's going to, because there's this idea that somehow in our country, and I think it comes from playing around with keyboards, that we can just walk up to anybody, we can say whatever we want, we can escalate it however we want, and the other person is just supposed to take it like they're in customer service at Kohl's. That ain't real life, though. That's not real life, especially when you're dealing with someone that's as big as Alan Richson. This man eats drywall for protein. You don't get in front of his motorcycle like you're a school crossing guard. I just don't recommend that, bro. That's bad. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Some people don't want resolution. Some people want confrontation because it feels like control, right? You may know someone like that. They feel like they're doing something, they're taking care of business, they're standing up for what's right. They want the confrontation. But what you're really doing is gambling. And you lost in this case. You're gambling that the other person is calmer than you, more patient than you, more restrained than you. And that's an awful bet. Now, I don't know this neighbor's situation. I don't know it. This smells like I need this to go somewhere energy. This smells like I'm going to push until this becomes something energy. Sometimes, if we're being honest, that energy can come from people who need a quick win or a quick payout. He might be behind on some things. It ain't cheap living in Tennessee. It's not cheap at all. You can see from TMZ there are pieces of the interaction on film. There was enough video to indicate that there will be no charges against Mr. Richson. This was an unfortunate incident that got worse by the minute because this is how it ends. This smells like he needed money. He's going to get a lot of attention. Not going to get money out of it, doesn't look like. He might. But when you step in somebody's space like that, you block them, you escalate it, you start yelling at them in front of their kids, you don't really get to decide how it ends anymore. You gave up that right? Sure enough, police agreed. Of course, it's self-defense, which shouldn't surprise anybody. At the end of the day, this isn't about motorcycles and it isn't about going too loud. It's about the weird shift that we got going on right this minute. It's a weird shift in our behavior. We think we can control other people's behavior by force instead of just asking or being an adult. You can ask somebody to slow down. You can have a conversation. You can go knock on the door. You can even call the popo if it's that serious. But the moment you step into the street and turn it into a showdown, you need to be ready for the ending. A lot of folks out here are writing checks that the backsides can't cash. Thank you for spending time with us today, and thank you for spending time liking, commenting, any of those things, shares. Those are all huge. Thank you again for the support.